We can be more compassionate because it can be easier to see things from other people's points of view and to get fresh perspectives on things beyond just ourselves and what our friends think. And that's because as humans, we only have the benefit of hindsight. We can only look back. So if we're standing at the cusp of monumental change, it can be really difficult to fathom what's about to come next. And I believe we're standing here at this blue dot in 2024 today. By the time the machine was retired after World War II when the Allies won, it had been estimated that this machine had done more calculations than all of humans in all of history. It's a pretty impressive feat, but by today's standards, it's pretty much inadequate for anything that you or I would want to do. I tried to compile a list of humankind's greatest inventions, sorting them by the number of people that they brought out of poverty as a result of those inventions. It's not usually enough to be incrementally better than the status quo. You need to be 10 times better to be able to convince people that your way is the better way. It's the job of the discriminator to just look at the two images and try to figure out which one came from the AI and which one came from the training set. So it makes a guess. Whether or not it's right is given as feedback to both the parties, and then they repeat and do it again for thousands and thousands of times. There's a lot of the world that we live in that was designed around this concept of scarcity. If you walk into a typical classroom, there's often one teacher for every 20 or so students. If you need to talk to a therapist, the cost, at least where I come from in the US, can be hundreds of dollars per hour. And if you need to see a specialist as a doctor, the wait can be measured in months. And what AI allows is this concept of abundance. You're not replacing those tasks, but you're augmenting it and filling in the need where the alternative is to not do anything. So in the classroom, what if you had an infinitely patient tutor? You could take it home with you after class and practice and ask it questions that you maybe don't want to embarrass yourself in front of your classmates and peers. You'd still have a teacher, but instead of having the students just get frustrated and read the chapter over and over again, you'd be able to have that much more powerful learning experience. We had a decision to make. Would we just delay the release and hold it back even though it's ready and ship it like we originally had planned? Or would there be an enterprising person at the company who wants to get baseline proficient in a new area and try to learn videography even though the people that knew it were busy? So the human ingenuity was still certainly present, but that tedious grunt work where you would just maybe in the past try to offload it to a graduate student or something was the part that the AI helped with. So this kind of partnership where the humans and the AI are working together allows you to create new things and bring in the timeline for commercializing the technology. It changes hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. And we're certainly in that hard change phase in the beginning, but I'd like to encourage all of us to embrace it, to go into the situation with an open mind, and not just for fun, but for the purposes of getting us to that gorgeous end. We can be more prepared because it can be easier to run different scenarios, think through different risks, and come into situations with a more well-rounded view than we could come up with just on our own.